What's going on, everybody? I'm Akaza, and welcome back to another review video. And today we're going to be talking about and reviewing the GoSignals Secrets and Lies, released back in 2011 on Paisley Cloud Records. And let me tell you, this is one of my favorite Pinoy rock and roll albums of all time, just because it's all across the board rock and roll, from classic rock, psychedelic rock, punk rock, new wave. It's got a huge fusion of just the only rock you're not getting in this is metal. Which that's fine, because I'm not that much of a metalhead myself, but this is just some pure rock and roll stuff right here, which we're going to get into in a moment. But I wanted to say a little comment here. Maniego, this is mostly his band. He started it in 2006. He's a good friend of mine, and whenever I hear music that he does, I absolutely love it. And I got this CD because Al DiMolanta of the Dead End and Throw months and months ago sent me Throw's album Stand through DHL, and when I got it in the mail, I felt two CDs in there. So I was like, "What the hell? Did he send me two Throw albums?" I opened it up, and there was a Throw Stand and a GoSignals Secrets and Lies CD, which around the time Mel was actually going to send me a couple CDs signed, and I was like, "Hey Mel, look, Al DiMolanta sent me this." And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess I don't need to send you one then right now." So yeah, thank you to Al DiMolanta for sending me this. That was a big surprise on my behalf, and I'm honored to own this, because this CD, literally, other than right now because I'm holding it in my hand to review this video, it absolutely never leaves my SUV. When I'm driving to work or when I'm driving around, this is always in the CD player, in the stereo system. Because you know how a lot of people have their driving album, the one album that they always put on in their car, maybe it's a tape, they just, when you get in the car, it plays, and that's just your driving album. That's the album that keeps you the most focused on the road, it keeps you the most focused where you're going. It's just got the best sound for any sort of driving atmosphere, whether it's through snow and ice, a hurricane, whether it's through a tornado, whether it's a thunderstorm, or just a positive blue sunny day. You just got your music, the right music to get you going through. It's perfect driving music, and especially if you're stuck in a traffic jam and you just need the right sort of sound to keep your mind mellow so you don't lose your shit and flip off the person next to you who's not going fast enough. I'm just saying. It's kind of funny that I say that too, because part of what I said has to do with how the name of this band came to be in the first place. So, the GoSignals formed around 2006, and it was pretty much along the lines of, and here's a quote from the Mel himself: "Form a band in 1 week and be ready to play live." This was how the GoSignals started back in 2006, when Mel's brother, Butch Maniego, rang him up one day and asked him, quite literally, form a band and be ready to play live in a week, to play for a fundraising gig, because they're lovely people. And this is the funniest part about this. Ready? So, according to, I've talked to Mel, it's on the bio, and I've brought it up to Mel. Butch called him when he was in the middle of traffic. He was waiting for the traffic light to switch to green, and Mel was mumbling the words, come on, let's go, give me a go signal." And thus, the name came to be. Which, as the second paragraph in the GoSignals Facebook bio explains, quote, "Go signal are words we normally use to affirm, a thumbs up. Go ahead and do it. Very positive, I might add. Yes, and it says on here, encouragement and approval from good friends like Fred Dater, ex-Private Stock singer, and a longtime bandmate Al DiMolanta of Throw encouraged him to pick up his guitar after almost 9 years, which, as I said, Al DiMolanta sent me this, so thank you much to Al again. And also, hell yeah, everybody go check out Fred Dater's band Fishbowl, experimental rock at its finest. I'll do a review of that at some point, but the reason I reread that bio there is because it's very important to know that, because you might just look at this album and say, oh, it's the GoSignals, that's a cool name. Well, actually, when you go to listen to the music, the name ties into the songs, at least a handful of them. It especially ties in to the first song on this album, which is called Time. It starts out with a clock tick, 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 and then an alarm goes off, and then it just springs into this good punk rockety rock and roll. Time is slow, you can't. I'm not gonna sing that because I'm not a good singer, but it's got a good melody, it's got a good tune, and the song is quite literally about Don't let time pass you by. Take advantage of the life that you have and make a positive future out of it. And one thing I like about Mel as a songwriter and as a friend, because trust me, I ramble a lot when we talk, and he's like, "Okay, Anarka, enough. Just get to the point." There's a line in the song that every time I hear it, I'm like, "That is so Mel. Shut your mouth and just listen," which I can't sing like him, but that every time I hear the line "shut your mouth and just listen," it's so blunt, it's so grabby, and just shut your mouth and just listen. The song is just about using the time that you have to get up and go out there and make something of yourself. Write your future. Don't waste time. And the freaking awesome part about this song is it's not just a punkity rock and roll song. There's cowbell in it. There's some classic rock renditions in this song, especially with the chorus. I can't do a cowbell imitation, but the cowbell really makes me truly fall in love with this song even more, because I've been told by Mel and many others, and it's pretty apparent when you listen to a lot of Pinoy rock and Pinoy punk, and even rock and roll from the United States, and that matter in England nowadays, cowbell is not really used as much anymore. And that's kind of sad, because cowbell is amazing. You get the right cowbell, you put that in the right part of the right song, have the right rhythm, have the right, you get everything just right with that cowbell, and you have yourself an anthem. You have yourself a very memorable track with a good cowbell. That just adds such a classic rock flavor to a good song, to a song that's already good. So, bravo to Time. It is time for cowbell. I needed to say that. Time, Secrets and Lies, those two have pretty much the same sort of rock and roll tendency going on there, only Time has a cowbell in it and Secrets and Lies does not have a cowbell in it. But Secrets and Lies is just about, your secrets and your lies catching up to you. Don't screw people over, don't lie to people, don't cheat people, because eventually it'll come up and bite you in the ass. Like I said, this is the GoSignals. This is a very motivational album. It's a very teaches you life lesson sort of album in many ways. Sinang, the third song is called Sinang Aling Gloria, which that is Tagalog, which Mel has told me what it means many times, but I still have trouble pronouncing a lot of Tagalog words. For those of you who've been watching this channel, watch me review all the Pinoy punk, you are definitely aware that I do at times tend to struggle with speaking Tagalog. I know a lot of languages, but Tagalog is very difficult for me to enunciate properly. But the third song is called Tinang Aling Gloria, and from what I remember, it translates to Lying Gloria. Gloria was a president of the Philippines during the 2000s, and without getting into politics on this channel, this is one of the most politically charged songs on the album. Which, yes, they do dive into politics on this album a bit, but it's just to smack at Gloria for her lies, for her corruption, and just I don't want to get into all this. Go on Google, type in "Hello Garci," and just research Gloria, president of the Philippines, and from back then, and learn a bit about it. But I like this song because, for one, it's in Tagalog, and you know me, if you watch this channel, I love it when Filipino musicians, or when musicians from a country that is not English speaking, I love it when they make music in their native language. That is just so, I love that, because one, it challenges me as a listener to try to understand it from a native tongue's perspective, but two, some languages just sound damn good, and Tagalog sounds absolutely amazing. When a female sings, it sounds beautiful. When a male sings it, it just sounds awesome. Tagalog is a good language to sing in, and I encourage Filipino bands of the current, present, and the future who watch my channel, please make Tagalog music. It's cool that you make English music, but please make Tagalog music. It's a beautiful language, and it needs to be explored, and it needs to be used more in music. But one cool thing about the song Sinang Aling Gloria is, remember how I said in the notes here that Brian De La Vega played the trombone for Sinang, and Mark Cristino played the trumpet? Yes, brass instruments. there's some Scottish jazzy stuff going on fused in to this rock and roll track, Sinang Aling Gloria. It sounds so good, and as I said earlier, the GoSignals Secrets and Lies is just a straight punk rock album in 2011. This is a fusion of different variations, different stylistics of rock and roll put in just right. Got cowbell, classic rock vibe on track 1. Track 2's got that punk rock stuff, which is awesome. Track 3's got a bit of a jazz fusion, ska fusion going on there with the punk rock stuff, and the Galag sung just right. It sounds awesome. Number 4 is Bullet for Your Eye. Now this song, my original take on it, because it does have a backstory, but when I first heard Bullet for Your Eye, which, by the way, it does have a very Clash sort of guitar going on there. Dun, dun, dun. I can't mimic it, but when I listen to Bullet for Your Eye, I'm immediately reminded of the Clash. It's just got that 77 punk rock style with the Clash type of strumming going on, like in a, I don't know about London Calling, but I just get a real intense Clash vibe from Bullet for Your Eye. But I'm trying to find it here on the lyric sheet. The lyric sheet for this album is kind of really hard to read, as you can see here on the pictures. The background of the inlay is multiple different images and pictures and shots of the band playing live with this kind of light orangish tint over it, with the lyrics of most of the songs overcasting that, and they're in a bit of a darker orange font, which with the proper flashlight and magnifying glass with your phone you can read it, but sitting from a regular distance from it, it is kind of hard to read this, that's literally my only criticism of this album. It's just the lyric sheet and how it's just the colors of it, the contrast, and it makes it a little hard to read. Which on the far right side here, you can see that the tint of the background overshadowing the images, it's darker, and the font is also darker. It's a bit easier to read the lyrics of Bullet for Your Eye, Rising from the Ashes, Secrets and Lies, and Stand Up, which another thing I found kind of interesting. So the track list goes Time, Secret to Lies, Singalang Gloria, Bullet for Your Eye, Die Someday, Hansue, Stand Up, Rising from the Ashes, Harapin, Never Ending Cries, Thank God I Won't Be Coming Back to You. The inlay tells a different story. The track listing of the lyrics on the inlay are Never Ending Cries, Harapin, Handuse. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Time, Die Someday, Sinang Aling Gloria, Bullet for Your Eye, Rising from the Ashes, Secrets and Lies, and Stand Up. I noticed that the inlay has a different, not track list, but layout position of the tracks in comparison to the track list on the back. But anyway, so Bullet for Your Eye. When I first listened to this song, I thought it was just, my perspective was, I've heard I got a lot of buddies in the United States military, and they tell me that, at first they signed up for it to serve their country because they love their country, they want to keep free, fight for freedom, and then they sign up for it, and they're like, oh shit, what'd I get myself into? I regret this shit, oh my god. Thought I was gonna, from an outsider's perspective, the military, it's a completely different, I cannot speak from experience from being in the military, because I've never been in the military, but from a lot of those friends of mine, and I've seen documentaries and interviews of veterans and, people who got out of the military because they couldn't handle it. From the outside looking in, it looks like a bit of a heroic stance. It looks like, just the few, the proud, the Marines. That's the best way I'll put it. But considering how much shit, I'll say, you have to go through once you're in the military, and oh my god, what did I sign up for? I signed up for this, oh god. So yeah, I'm gonna fight for my country, and then suddenly you're strapped with an AK, and you got your armor and the boots, and you're shipped overseas. It's that escalated quickly. That's the best way to put that. But yeah, the lyrics for Bullet for Your Eye: wake up Renaissance at 0430. Pick up your gear, your Bible, now you're ready. To play hide and seek for over 50 years, the only prize you get is pain and tears. You thought you signed up to defend your country, so what's the other choices? So poverty, the boots you have to buy, a bullet for your eye, donate your organs now in case you die. Very deep lyrics, very deep lyrics. Sometimes you wonder what you're fighting. Sometimes you wonder what you're fighting for. I'm not gonna sing that. Your life, your innocence, you gave it all for contradicting ideologies. See, that's what that song is getting at. There is a backstory to that song, but I'll leave that for y'all to figure out. But it's a song that just questions. It helps to question the military-industrial complex and the reasons to join. Bullet for your eye, you know. You sign up for this, and oh shit, should I have signed up for this? The next song on the track list is Die Someday, which, to quote Mel himself, careful out there to all you boys and girls who end up dating musicians. You don't want to accidentally screw them over, otherwise you might become immortalized in a song in a venomous way. Die Someday is a lovely song about, breakup. And, yeah, it's I'd hate to be on the receiving end of those lyrics. Handuse. I cannot pronounce that right, and I am so seriously sorry for that. This is one of those Tagalog songs, which is another one I'm proud of on this because, like I said, I love Tagalog music. Handuse is from what I remember Mel telling me, this song is about Filipinos who, in the homeland, just kind of litter. They don't respect the homeland right. They don't work. They slouch. They're couch slouches. Kind of going back to the song Time. They're not doing what they can to make their home a better place. They're just treating their homeland like disrespect, and then they go overseas and suddenly they're a model citizen. That's kind of what that song is about. Which I don't have the lyrics to Handuse. I don't have the lyrics to that memorized because I'm not fluent Tagalog. But yeah, Mel explained to me that song is just about Filipinos who treat the homeland like shit and then go overseas and they're a model citizen. But that can be applied to anyone, anywhere. It's kind of like the term weeaboo almost, like the anime kids who sell them, I'm ashamed of being American. I like Japanese anime. I'm a Japanese person now. I'm gonna go to Japan and live an excellent life. Fuck the USA. So it's kind of like that, only it's from a Filipino perspective. Stand up, stand up, stand up, and shuffle your feet. This song is number 7, and this is one of my favorite grooving songs on the album. This song is a really fun song to just get up and dance around to. I mean, it's in the basis of it. Stand up, stand up, stand up, and shuffle your feet. I actually, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, this is the song that when I'm in the car, I like to blast it at full volume, and I end up speeding down the fucking road because it's just a good motivational pumping song, which the song is actually about, I believe Mel said that it's about a club or something that he attended, a venue where people would dress up in fancy shoes and fancy dresses and shirts and all that and start, just clubbing, dancing around and having a good time. It always matter what shirt you wear. Your Merc, your Sherman, what would make them stare? Dress so sharply with that air you don't care. You always wish that nights like this would never end. Come dawn, it'll hit you like a curved ball to your head. Struggle to find your... Yeah, so it's about, that song's about clubbing, about dancing around and having a couple swigs of brew, dancing around, dressing sharply, just that sort of life. But I like it because it's a grooving song. If you had a hangover, just not feeling good the previous night, you wake up in the morning, just blast, stand up, and it'll just make you feel good like that. It's just a good rockin' and rollin' song. And there's a keyboard in it! Yes! There's a keyboard in it! Raffi Miranda, he plays the keyboard in this song, and he plays it excellently. I love it. This is a grooving song. It's got a bit of a, I said earlier, there's a bit of a 60s vibe. Yeah, it's got a bit of a groovy old school vibe, and the punk fused in with that keyboard just does the song justice, my friends. It does it justice. I love it that way. Finally, I want to talk about Rising from the Ashes, number 8, which, according to the innards here, the Inlay, Boyette Miguel of Betrayed, Tame the Tick Belong, and Leave It Out played the lead guitar in the song Rising from the Ashes. This song is a slow rock and roll song with a wow wow. It's got this beautiful kind of zombies-esque time of the season. It's got this really nice 60s rock psychedelic vibe to it, and it's just got this raw build-up. Rise up and rise up and seize the day. Rise up, you got the whole world waiting. Rise up from the ashes, yeah. It's a good song to just blast really loud and rock the fuck out to. This is the song, say you're drinking, or you're just having a good time, or you just want to get pumped up because you got the game to go to, you got that interview for the new job, you got something really big you gotta do, and you need something to get motivated to, my friend. Rise up and seize the day. Crank that freaking volume up all the way to 100 and just blow up your speakers to it. And it's got some good bass, it's got some good throb there, it's got some good beat, it's got that. I just love the 60s-esque psychedelia feel to the song Rising from the Ashes. Gonna rise up and rule the day. Good God. Ugh, I just got the shivers. Shivers. Whew. Yeah, this is a really beautiful song. The last song on this album that I want to talk about is Never Ending Cries, which is about the crisis down there that took place in Mindanao. For those of you who don't pay attention to Philippine politics or just current events in the Philippines, a unfortunate war broke out in Marawi a long time ago down in Mindanao, and cities got torn to shreds because of radical Islamic terrorists. And the song is just about the pain and suffering that took place in that region during that time, which I believe today the region has either recovered fully or is on a path to a better life. This happened years and years ago, so it's nice to know that Mel had written a song in condolences to just to make those who suffered down there just know that someone else was thinking about them. And it's always nice to have a song written about you. It's always nice to, when something terrible happens, when a tragedy happens, to know that there are people who do care, who will speak out, and who will, are there to support you in such an unfortunate time and tragedy. Which, for those of you who want to know more about the song Never Ending Cries, or just the Mindanao crisis, just hit that up on Google. But yeah, so that's the gist of the GoSignals Secrets and Lies. It's 11 tracks. Like I said, it's different stylistics, different variations of rock and roll. We got some classic rock, we got some rock fused with ska and jazz, we got some punk, we got some slower rock, we got some rock, some 60s psychedelic-esque rock and roll, some politically charged songs, some socially charged songs, and some songs that just reflect on emotions, on the things that happen in everyday life, questioning morality, questioning social standards, social infrastructure, questioning just things of everyday life. And then to top it all off, we've got some venomous songs about relationships and the pain and suffering that can be caused in a relationship, as well as blunt motivational songs. Get off your ass. It's time to do something with your life. Get out there. This is your go signal. this is your go signal. 3 Tagalog songs on this album: Singang, Aling Gloria, Handusay, and Harapin. I hope to hear if Mel ever makes another record. I hope there are more Tagalog songs on that. I love and I appreciate it so much that there are 3 on this album. I love Tagalog. It's a beautiful language. Whether a man or a woman singing it, it's a really good language, and I love listening to music in Tagalog because it's so especially for Filipinos, it's so native. It really brings out the heart and soul of a Filipino musician when they sing music in their native tongue. It brings to that a lot more than when they do it in English, and I say that as when I made my Woods Arms Talk review, I hit on this heavily, but when you talk about especially a sensitive, controversial, or just a very important subject or topic, then in Tagalog, if you're Filipino, then when other Filipinos listen to your music in the native language, it strikes a heavier chord with them than if you're to sing it in English. And because they're more familiar. Yeah, I know the majority of Filipinos know English, but if you sing about an important topic in Tagalog, like I'm really glad Sinang Gloria is in Tagalog, Handusay, because it's about Filipinos disrespecting their homeland and being a model citizen abroad. Things like that, that will strike a deeper chord being sung in Tagalog versus if it were sung in English. I mean, that's just my opinion on it, but it's strikes a heavier chord because that's kind of, you're speaking to the home base on that. You know what I'm saying? Which I do know, and as I've said before, some things are easier to say in some languages versus others. I've been told that quite often by many of my Filipino friends who do write in English. They tell me that some messages that they want to get out, it's easier to get the message across in English, which they want to sing in Tagalog, but it's just easier in English, and English is a more broader language. Most people around the world do speak English versus other languages. I think it is the biggest, other than maybe Mandarin and French and Spanish. English is one of the most widest used languages in the world, but still, I love my Filipino rock music in Tagalog because it just sounds so much better to me. This album is an A+. Please support this band and go listen to this. As GoSignals rock and roll. I love them to death, and I can't wait to meet Mel, Dennis, and Spyk this summer. Get this CD signed because it's gonna look nice with the signature on it. Anyway, guys, I'm Anarka Akaza. Thank you so much for watching this very long review over the GoSignals Secrets and Lies, released back in 2011 on Paisley Cloud Records. Good 11 tracks. You can listen to it on YouTube, and have yourselves an absolutely fantastic day. That's your Go Signal. Check it out.